right, folks, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome aboard the Max Afterburner podcast. Got a little bit of solo today. A ton to debrief, right? We just got back, Monday? We got back Monday from just an incredible experience, almost ineffable, the experience out at Psychedelic Science 2023 out in Denver. Man, I believe in the good things coming. 12,000-ish folks all aligned to the same mission objective: healing, being better human beings. When you get that many people together in a room, in a massive conference hall, obviously, the energy is palpable. You can feel it. You can feel the change. I mean, hell, we got back earlier in the week and the Wall Street Journal, 3 articles in a row this week on psychedelics, from Silicon Valley to psilocybin becoming mainstream. Here's what to know about it, to MAPS looking for investors to kind of give them a little bit of a bridge to when, not if, MDMA is legal again. This time for therapeutic use, obviously prescription, all that good stuff. So, and in one of the articles, it was awesome because they said, hey, Rick Doblin, just an incredible human being who has never been out of the fight to save and change lives. A couple of years ago, this Psychedelic Science convention had 3,000 people or so. It was 12 this year. I'm telling you right now, there'll be at least 20,000 next year, because this time next year for Psychedelic Science, MDMA better be legal for therapeutic use. And then once MDMA gets back into the mainstream and is saving and changing lives, psilocybin's probably, on the horizon, but, Iboga, Ibogaine, probably further down the road. The science really has to catch up to some of these medicines. But folks, and the kickoff keynote with Rick, it had the governor of Colorado, I believe, Governor Rick Perry, who ran for president as a Republican. Aaron Rodgers was out there. That was national news. I mean, it was just, you had athletes, veterans, hippies, you name it, every walk of life walking around that convention center, and the breakout sessions, the education, the science behind it. I mean, you had hippies over here, scientists over here, veterans here, athletes. Absolutely incredible. I'm still buzzing, just absolutely buzzing by the energy. So I'm telling you right now, once they put out the dates for Psychedelic Science 2024, register, go. And if you're a Top Gun Options member, we're going to do a Top Gun Options event out there. We'll maybe do a dinner, or we're all getting together, folks, because, it's a little bit of an Axe Capital moment, right? Billions. If you haven't watched Billions on Showtime, you have failed miserably. It's okay if you took the last season off. Not a big Mike Pence guy, but Axe is coming back. I think they figured out the ratings slump. But folks, it's kind of a real life Axe Capital, right? Except without the narcissist, sociopath tendencies. Why am I bringing that up? Because seeing the science out there and the business aspect of it, right? Make sure you go to the Dales Report on YouTube. The Dales Report, Shad Dale, great human being, awesome guy, good buddy now. I did his podcast along with Joe, the chairman of Healing REIT. A REIT is what? A real estate investment trust. So Joe and I were on Shad's podcast, the Dales Report. So go check that out, because at the end of the day, folks, you all know what I believe. At the No Fallen Heroes Foundation, our mission objective is to provide healing grants to veterans, to first responders, to their family members to heal, because a lot of veterans, first responders, or family members, if they're looking for healing, they might be a little down on their luck, unemployed, or just not having the funds. And unfortunately, right now, with healing not being necessarily free or in the United States, what I believe about that. We got to go to Costa Rica. We got to go to Mexico. My brother Jesse at Heroic Hearts, I got his one of these Heroic Heart shirts on that I got out there. They go down to Peru to do Aya. It's time to heal our heroes at home. Made a great connection last week with a former NHL great, Kyle Quincy, who's doing some good stuff in Colorado. We're going to be announcing, hopefully soon, a strategic partnership with Kyle and his efforts to heal veterans and first responders in Colorado, folks. What a concept. Oregon and Colorado, these things are legal. Still obviously illegal at the federal level, but Uncle Sam, typical Uncle Sam, dragging their feet, and the states are leading the way. So be there next year for Psychedelic Science 2023. I think we'll have a big booth. This year we're just kind of squatting, hanging out with the REIT. We had our little banner up, but No Fallen Heroes, we sponsored the Veteran and First Responder Dinner Thursday night. And man, I just kind of felt in the zone. After dinner, I got up and gave a brief on our foundation, my background, the medicine, and how it's helped me. And I guess it went over pretty well. It was a standing ovation. And we played our video, kind of our 4 or 5 minute video of quick brief of what we're doing. If go to No Fallen Heroes on YouTube, do me a favor right now, press pause, go to No Fallen Heroes on YouTube, subscribe, and check out our short 4.5, 5 minute video that we played at the dinner, so you can check it out. We're trying to get the clip of my speech at the dinner. The guy wrote me back yesterday. He's like, dude, we have like literally terabytes and terabytes. Everything was filmed last week, but we'll try and move you up to the front a little bit, because your presentation was very impactful. So very humbled and honored at that response. So great week. Back to the Axe Capital and that tangent, billions. Up until the point where all this stuff is free, there is a potential to make some money. Now, if that seems a little weird, that's Gordon Gekko talking, right? That's Axe from Axe Capital. But where can you potentially save and change lives and profit, right? So, and shameless plug, this Thursday at 1 and 8 Eastern, I'm going to hook the West Coast folks up so you don't have to watch a replay or anything like that. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do 2 briefs this coming Thursday. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/healing. And I'm going to give you a deeper debrief than I'm giving you right now, and also where I am targeting, what we're going to target for max profit in this space. So I'm going to tell you right now, walking around Psychedelic Science 2023 was just incredible, but it's also a little bit of the Wild West right now. Here's the best analogy I can use. It's 1999, 2000. It's the .com boom right now. There is a ton of stuff flying around in the space, and it's 1999, 2000. There's a Google, there's an Amazon, there's a pets.com, and there's a Netscape, right? Or something like that. You invest in the right two, you're filthy rich. You invest in the wrong two, you're broke. So Thursday at 1 and 8, I'm going to give you the ones that I believe are going to be the Googles, the Amazons in the psychedelic space. And obviously Joe, Cody, Daniel, Ty, all the guys and gals at the Healing REIT, man, they are blazing a path. The booth was swamped. People, it's really interesting to see the response. They're like, all right, well, what do you do? Well, Healing REIT, we're buying up properties around VA hospitals, because you ain't going to do MDMA at your doctor's office. I mean, good luck sitting on the creepy, worn out table thing with wax paper on it and, the National Geographic magazines from 1970. No. First of all, you can't do it like that. The MAPS itself is coming up with the MDMA protocol. Hey, it's this many, briefs. It's this many sessions. There has to be 2 therapists in the room. It's got to be a nice room, like a couch, and right. Whenever we talk about psychedelic healing, we talk about the 2 biggest things: set and setting. Right, your mindset going into this experience, and also the setting. So Healing REIT is taking care of the setting. Okay, you're going to have to there's going to be clinics, centers needed to do this. So I'm so proud to be on the board, the advisory board for Healing REIT, and I'm glad to have a bunch of their heavies on our foundation's advisory board, because I want to heal our heroes at home. Don't get me wrong, I love Anthony and Joe and all these guys and gals down at Awaken Your Soul in Costa Rica. I love Martine, Dr. Polanco, and the Mission Within in Mexico. But hey, man, why not here? Right? It's coming. This is what we're doing. We will be healing our heroes at home. And as I said, shameless plug, Thursday at 1 and 8, we're going to talk about how you can potentially profit. Because walking around out there, I did my due diligence. I talked to CEOs. I talked to I was in it, man. This was so powerful. I can't overstate it enough how powerful this week was. And it was kind of part of my journey. I'm still integrating from my medicine journey. I'll be integrating for the rest of my life. But to see and feel the vibe of thousands and thousands of people all aligned to this mission, I can't put it into words. Okay, so let's clean that up. You got to go, and we're going to have a big group out there for the foundation, for the REIT. I mean, hell, even this time next year, maybe even the REIT has gone public, and it's a bigger deal. But this is the way. Okay, I have nailed. Here's a little ego moment, shocker. I have nailed every flash in the pan. Right? 5 years ago, whenever it was, my buddy who I fly L-39s with, he's like, you got to get this Bitcoin thing. The government doesn't know about it. You trade peer-to-peer, and it's a wallet, and you don't pay taxes. I'm like, what? Say all of that again slowly. The government doesn't know about it. You don't have to pay taxes, all sorts of stuff. You move money around. I'm like, dude, that's insanity. I agree with it. I love the concept of it, but in a battle between a made-up thing and the central banks and governments of the world, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with them. No, dude. I'm like, okay, man, that thing went up and popped. If you get crypto, it's going to, and there ended up being thousands of coins. Do you remember, my God, what was that, a 6-month period? Like Dogecoin, Mark Cuban. We'll take Dogecoin at our Mavericks, whatever, pop. Okay, I get it. If you're a crypto Scientologist, your eyes are probably rolling in the back of your head right now, and a vein's going to pop. Enjoy. I'm like Jamie Dimon, right? The head of J.P. Morgan's like, hey, man, I think it's a Ponzi scheme. The only people in it are the people that are in it, and they got to get new people in it to make it go up. I think it's a Ponzi scheme. It's not worth anything. But if there's a market to be made, J.P. Morgan's going to do it. Same thing with me. I get it. So why am I ranting about this? Because that was is a fad, in my opinion. NFTs. What? Again, when these things come out, I do the caveman thing. I'm like, I guess I'm an idiot. Same thing with NFTs. You are an idiot, because these things, I'm like, hold on. That dude just bought a JPEG down in Miami of a gorilla for $2.5 million. Yeah, if you don't get it, you're an idiot. Okay, I'll just kind of keep doing what I'm doing, making money, like trading options and stuff. Pop. What? The day Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta, because seriously, this was a thing. Again, it's another thing that everybody ran after, not me. We're all going to sit around all day with a thing on our face and live in a fake universe. Like, we don't even have legs. We just kind of hover around. What? The metaverse, Whiz. You don't get it? You're an idiot. JP Morgan just bought like a corner store in there for $100 million. Whatever stupid. I'm like, I don't get this. But you do you. Pop. Zuckerberg spent what, like 12 to 15 billion dollars on a flop. There's something that ends in verse that's really, really cool. It's called the universe that God gave us. I'm sitting here in a beautiful studio in Boca Raton. There's trees, there's birds, the breeze is blowing, the sun's shining, it rained a little while. There's a fucking universe, folks. You want to sit on your couch and get fat with an Oculus on or whatever it is and go into a I don't get it. Again, but what am I doing? I'm rippling through fads. Here's another current fad. AI. What? Nah, stop. First of all, you didn't watch Terminator or Transcendence. It's a fad. A glorified Google search engine that spits back paragraphs. Did you see the one girl, the swimmer? Not Riley Gaines, the other one. Another, like one of her sisters she's like, I was going to go give a speech and I wanted to see what ChatGPT had to say about this. She's like, hey, give me a page speech on why men dressed as women shouldn't be competing with women in swimming. What did the AI do? It came back and said, how dare you ask this type of question? You need to meet more. It lectured her on her lack of diversity. What? Folks, and you've heard me use this analogy before. So AI is going to be the death of all of us. I'm old enough to remember. I grew up in the 80s, folks. There was a movie called War Games. It was essentially before like computers were really, really what they are today. They kind of envisioned an AI type of, it was called the Whopper, War Operational Plan, whatever it was, man. It's a great movie. AI, first of all, is going to put apparently a lot of people out of work. I don't know how that's good, because when people are out of work, they just don't get to go to the beach, right? What are we just going to pay people not to work? Well, if you're a Democrat, you believe in that. So AI is another fad right now. NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, all these stocks are having these rip your face off rallies. Again, as with some of the other things I've nailed as fads, maybe I'm just the idiot and I don't understand. It's fun. I saw a meme the other day, like this professor gave some kid an F. It's like, because he used ChatGPT. Why? Obviously, because like the first 3 sentences were like, this has been generated by ChatGPT and not, blah, blah, blah. And the kid clearly copied and pasted it into the report. And the professor's like, dude, at least delete the first couple. You didn't even read it, right? I told you a couple of weeks ago that an attorney in New York got in trouble for using ChatGPT. The ChatGPT or whatever it was, the AI thing, made up court cases. Like, thank God the judge or the clerks actually like looked at some of the stuff and started digging. Like, none of this is all made up. And the attorney's like, "Oh shit, sorry. Well, my bad." Somebody in one of my live trade briefs the other day said, "Whiz, you're wrong. It's they're really using it. Medical is really going to be medical." Oh. Did you see what happened months ago? Whenever this was recently, Canadian veteran, I think, was looking for a wheelchair ramp or something. They started using AI in our 51st state. The AI said you should kill yourself. AI telling veterans, Canada, hopefully not here, that, yeah, it would probably be easier for you to kill yourself. Folks, I'm rambling. I'm on a tangent. My point being is, here's the summary slide for this part of the rant. This is not a fad. You want the next hot stock tip or the next thing from AI to crypto to NFT. This is the next big thing, and it is the only thing. Some of the MAP studies, and I'm speaking off the cuff, you can Google them, folks. A lot of the veterans that went through the MDMA studies, the clinical trials, 0% PTSD. Not 1%, not 10, not you cured half my PTSD, 0. It was like a standing ovation. You got to look at the science, folks. Can you imagine? Can you picture a world where people are healing all this hate, this racism, this division? Imagine going war, poverty. So you can do all your NFTs, crypto, AI, all that crap, fad stuff. If you're a fad follower, this is your next fad. I'm not a fad follower. I'm a fad caller outer. And guess what? This is the way, period. So if we can save and change lives and potentially profit, that's a self-licking ice cream cone, folks. That's a win, win, win. Okay? Speaking of that, go away for a week to Denver. What do you guys do? There's a freaking coup or attempted coup in Russia. You ready to hear what really happened? There's so much shit going on. Driving into the studio today, the Supreme Court decisions, which we can unpack. But let's get to Russia first. I believe when I was flying out to Denver a week and a half ago, I can believe this, but can you believe this? The Pentagon, whoever it was, announced there's a 6.2 million, not million, sorry, that's not a lot of money. $6.2 billion mistake, accounting error that we actually owed, somebody didn't hit enter in an Excel sheet. So we actually there's another 6.2 going somewhere overseas. As me, running a nonprofit, has to beg, kick, borrow, scream to try and save lives in America. Let that sink in, folks. So the government had a $6.2 billion, quote, accounting error. And then what happened a couple days later, or a week-ish? Breaking news, Prigozhin, the head of Wagner Group, is turning around and going to march on Moscow. A march for justice. I'm coming after the military leaders in this country. Essentially, it was going to be a little bit of a revolution. So Wagner Group, if you don't know, is just a bunch of fucking mercenaries. So it's so funny to see whether it's the double vax booster crowd who now has the Ukraine flag in their bios. 2 weeks ago, Wagner Group raping civilians, killing civilians. They're war criminals. In the span of that time to becoming heroes. Oh, though we got to support the Wagner Group. They're going to try and take out whatever. Really? The enemy of my enemy is my friend? Ladies and gentlemen, do you not know history? Who the fuck did the United States of America support in Afghanistan when the Soviets invaded? The Taliban. Really? Yeah. Shit pot of money and Hawk missiles to who? The Tally, to kill Soviets. They won. And then what happened? The Taliban killed 3,000 Americans in the worst, not the worst day in American history, because clearly that wasn't 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, according to Democrats in Kamala. January 6th, worse than 9/11 and Pearl Harbor combined. So when things like this happen, folks, when the Wagner Group says, all right, we're going to, first of all, what do they have, like 20? They had like 25,000 troops. Only about 8,000 kind of said, all right, let's kind of march on Moscow. They were going to get destroyed. Okay? As soon as that happened, the FSB, kind of our FBI, to be honest with you, picked up the phone and started calling who? Wagner families. Hey, by the way, if your son is in this, we're going to kill you. So, you guys know this cell phone right here has got a pretty good Rolodex of folks. So maybe, especially when you hear this, folks, when you hear U.S. intelligence agencies knew days in advance that the Wagner Group was maybe going to do this. Oh, they knew in advance? Maybe it's because the 6.2, You mean the CIA might have been with this guy, like, hey, we'll fund you to try, and it fucking blew up, and the guy escaped to Belarus. A year ago, year and a half, whenever it was, when the Nord Stream pipeline mysteriously blew up, what did our government and everybody say? Putin probably did that. He blew up his own pipeline? Yeah. It's a false flag attack, Whiz. You don't get it. Oh, I get it. A year later, we found out that we did it. Or the Brits. We meaning we. We blew it up. Oh, U.S. intelligence agencies knew that maybe we blew it up. This time around, U.S. intelligence agencies kind of knew that the Wagner Group was going to try and do what? Go to Moscow and overthrow Putin? Are you people fucking nuts? So that happened last week, too. I'm like walking around booths and meeting people, and I'm like, oh, my God, what's going on? It was a 24-hour rebellion. All the idiots, the vaxxers and the Ukraine flag and bio people are like, yay, Wagner Group. I'm like, they're rapists and murderers. Yeah, but no, yay now. And then 24 hours later, they're back to looking like idiots. Stop killing each other. Stop it. It's a fucking meat grinder. So let me ask you, all you Ukraine and bio, flag and bio picture people. The Wagner Group, apparently this badass mercenary group, which is now kind of disbanded and vaporized because they know that dude's dead. I give him 60 to 90 days. Admiral Mullen, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, on one of the Sunday shows was like, that dude's dead in 2 to 3 months. You better have like 9 food tasters. Anyway, what happened? What happened to the Ukraine offensive, this counteroffensive that we've been funding and funding and funding? The Wagner Group just disappeared. Why didn't you push right up the middle? Wherever they were, go, attack. Fail. Billions and billions and billions of dollars flowing to one of the most corrupt countries on the other side of the fucking planet, where the president's crackhead son, which got a pretty damn good deal from prosecute. The judge should throw out that plea agreement. Are you kidding me? Democrats, Joe Biden. We need stricter gun background checks. Your crackhead son lied on his federal firearms application, which is a felony, 10 years in prison. Nope. You lie on your taxes or try and conceal and all that stuff, you go to jail. Hunter Biden, nothing. Burisma, cushy job. How about the tape that came out last week? Hunter on tape talking to a Chinese CCP member, communist. Hey, man, you better wire the money tonight. My dad's sitting right here, and if you don't, you're in trouble. Could you imagine if that was Donald Trump would be impeached for the 97th time. Can't stand Donald Trump, but the hypocrisy in this country is stifling and disgusting. Getting back to psychedelics, we need to heal. We need to heal. Old me, my face would be melting off right now. New me, I'm just trying to find a little bit of love and be centered. You want to be a transsexual? You want to do whatever? I love you. I love your soul. I love everything about you. You do you, man. Can you have that same feeling towards me if I disagree with you? Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I hate you. Matter of fact, it means I love you. But this country is spinning out of control. The fact that 3 Supreme Court justices dissented in a couple of these massive court cases is a disgrace. The affirmative action thing, folks, you don't fix racism with racism. I thought a wise African-American once said, maybe someday we can judge a man not by the color of his skin, but the content of his character. No, that's dumb. The government has to force. So Harvard and University of North Carolina, you suck. You are discriminating against Asian Americans to favor African Americans. You do not fix racism with racism. And I love the dissenting justices. Overturn decades of precedents. Precedents, if it sucks and was based on shitty law, should have been overturned a long time ago. John Roberts, he's been all over the place, man. He goes where the law is. I haven't agreed with some of his rulings or dissents, but the guy has nailed it. So no more race in college admissions. How about we look at people's character? Huh? Remember United Airlines a year ago? We are mandating that we're hiring X amount of this minority, that minority. How about the best fucking pilots? No. Because when it's night and stormy and we're on one motor, I want a racial quota in the cockpit. Are we stupid? And the what, Ketanji Jackson, whatever her name is, she's on the Supreme Court because of a racial quota. Joe Biden said, I'm elected, he's from his basement, of course. When I'm elected president, I'm appointing a black, an African-American justice to the court. Not the most qualified person. I'm just appointing a quota. Could you imagine being that person, knowing that you're not the most qualified? You might be, but we don't know that. So they dissented on that one. And how about this one today? Joe Biden, political fucking to help him win the election. What did he do? With a stroke of the pen, I'm going to wipe out $750 billion in debt of these people who took these college loans. Dude, I'm a plumber, man. I'm a carpenter. I elected not to go to college, and I'm running my business. Yeah, well, you're going to pay for these people's shit. What? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Joe Biden's a king with the stroke. No, he's not. Well, no, these 3 justices say that. The power of the purse rests with Congress. The Supreme Court did a fantastic job of saying, you want to wipe out $750 billion with the stroke of a pen? The only stroke of the pen is after it goes through the House, the Senate, and you sign a law, Mr. President, not Your Majesty. Mumbles McShitty Pants a week and a half ago ended a speech by saying, God save the Queen. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe he does think he's the king or the queen, and he can just do these things. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact that 3 Supreme Court justices believe that the president has that type of power is incredibly dangerous to this republic. Can't stand Donald Trump. The fact that he appointed these justices to get us back is awesome. You might not agree with the rulings, but you have got to agree with the basis in law. I don't care how you feel about abortion. The law was bad. This actually worked out. This worked out, right? Roe versus Wade overturned. It's back to where it should have been in the first place. States, you want to kill your child, your unborn child, fucking knock yourself out. There's a place in America where you can kill your unborn child. Enjoy it. But justices looking at this Constitution and going, there it is right there. It says the right to abortion. It doesn't say that anywhere. Well, it does now because we're justices. We weren't elected. We're going to make up law. I don't care how you feel about abortion, folks. It was bad law. And it's funny because Democrats and liberals are like, aha, now that it's back in the states, it's really exactly. I liked winning on the law. I don't like losing. Don't even get me started about how I feel about abortion. You can't have an opinion on abortion, Whiz. You don't have a uterus. Haven't you been keeping up on current events? Men can have babies. Men can have periods without uteri. I love throwing stuff back in stupid people's faces. I love them. I love their soul. But really, you're not allowed to have an opinion on abortion if you can't have a child. Yeah, I can. I'm a dude, and I can have a baby. What was the other one? There was another Supreme Court ruling. It was, there was three big ones. Oh, it was the baker, or not the baker. It was kind of like a baker. Remember years ago, the gay couple, bake our cake. It's kind of against my religion. Fuck you and your religion. Bake our cake, or we're suing you. What? Same type of thing. Same state, Colorado, right? You need to make our wedding website or whatever it was for homosexual this, and the lady's like, it's against my religion. No, we're suing you. And the state of Colorado is saying, we don't care if it's against your religious belief. You are being forced to do this work. How dare you? I love all these people at the same time. So the church, separate religion, and you can't, Oh, really? So you're going to mandate, the government can compel you to do something against your religious belief? Folks, again, I can't even believe these things got all the way up to the Supreme Court. This is blocking and tackling. This is Freedom, Republic, Constitutional Law 101. Again, I don't care if you agree with the underlying issue. It's good law. The fact that we're getting back to good law makes my heart smile. But the fact that we got three justices who dissent on all this shit is nuts. Well, the quota hire, couldn't even define what a woman was. I can't even, where's Jane Fonda, Gloria Steinem? They went so far to the left that dudes are actually better women than women. That's where we are. Nice job. The patriarchy has won. We're better at being women than women. Are you kidding me? We've lost it. This place is fucking nuts. Let me close the circle with this. We got to heal. All of this, the political schisms, the racism, the hate, it's because people aren't healed. Raging egos, trauma. It's just, I'm telling you. You guys know me. Old me 5 years ago, Whiz, when Vlad invaded Ukraine, I would have swam across the Atlantic to kill as many Russians as physically possible. Today, no. Let me remind you, just because I seek peace and not killing people does not mean I have forgotten how to be an incredibly violent human being if needed. If needed. The man who wanted to be left alone, right? I think I have that on my phone. I don't think I've read this on this podcast. I want to read this because this defines me perfectly. Just because I'm more of a peaceful person right now doesn't mean that I don't. Here it is. The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the forced and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment they fight back, their lives as they have lived them are over. The moment the men who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. They are literally killing off who they used to be, which is why, when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with an unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former lives. They fight with a raw hate and a drive that cannot be fathomed by those who are merely play acting at politics and terror. True terror will arrive at these people's door, and they will cry, scream, and beg for mercy, but it will fall upon the deaf ears of the men who just wanted to be left alone. I don't want to be that guy. That guy died on a bed in Mexico. I used to cringe when people would use this sentence, and I don't cringe anymore. I was reborn. I was shown who I truly am, a loving, caring soul human being, caring to everybody. Every race, color, culture, creed, sexual identity. Let it fly, man. Love is the only answer. Not war, not hate, not violence. Love. And sitting with these sacred medicines. Having the ability to see past. It was so funny. A couple weeks ago, man, I felt like such an idiot. I was at yoga, and Billy Idol, never a massive Billy Idol fan, grew up in the 80s. Of course, I know Billy Idol. Eyes Without a Face came on in like the final Shavasana, and it hit me like a bolt of lightning. The words in that song. Could you imagine a society if we had, eyes without a face, got no human race? We could see people, right, without the egos. My God, what an incredibly, what the world would be. Folks, until you recognize that I am you, you are me. I love watching, man, I need to get out more often, but I like watching how the universe works. I strongly recommend you invest some time in how the universe works. It's like 12 seasons, man. Watched one last night. Everything, this microphone, your car you're driving in right now, the gym you're at, your parents, your children, best friends, my fighter jet, all of those things exploded from something that was tinier than the tip of a pin of infinite mass. What is it, 13.2, whatever, 14.2 billion years ago, the biggest explosion of light, love, and energy. Everything you have ever known or will ever know or that has ever been came from that moment. When you just close your eyes for a minute and recognize we are all just cosmic stardust that somehow, magically all swirled together to create you. What an incredible experience. I love hearing this sentence. We are spirits having a human experience. We're energy. 99.9% of your body is energy. It's vibrating from quarks to planks to atoms. It's like a trillion planks or quarks could fit in an atom. I mean, when you think about this stuff, folks, it's staggering to me. Trust me, I love taking a little edible and watching how the universe works. It will completely reframe your mind. That's why when I see these Supreme Court decisions and people yelling and protest and throwing, I'm like, man, the world would be a much better place if we all had the opportunity to heal. And we will. I am going to succeed or I'm going to die trying. Well, I'm definitely going to die trying. I'm not going to die. You're not going to die. You're going to transition. Death is, it's so taboo, and everybody, I have a completely different idea of death. mainly because I know it doesn't exist. After getting to see my sister and my father again, and in my 5-MeO, my DMT experience, flipping in a bed and becoming one with source, recognizing there is no time. There's only now, and now is infinite. So enjoy this brief, shining moment we have on this marble. Everything you've ever known, will know, can be, is on this thing. It's going to end someday, right? Everything ends, except God, except love, and except you. You are eternal and you are forever. I guarantee you. So, no, you've survived every one of your worst days, right? Because you're listening to this. This might be your worst day listening to this, obviously, but no. And your highs. Enjoy the highs while they last, because they won't last forever. And know that the lows won't last forever. Be okay. Shameless plug for my Beautiful Brides podcast, episode 33. It's fine. Everything is fine. We have to get back to it's fine. Somewhere in the middle. This country is so polarized. We have an octogenarian that doesn't even know where the fuck he is running for president versus a guy who knowingly broke the law. You're telling me these are the two best Americans, two old fucking white guys are the two best Americans that can run for president? Are we insane? Can't stand either one of these guys, man. Where's the next generation? It's all about power. The Democrats put in not only a brain-dead president with a vice president quota hire, literally a brain-dead dude in Pennsylvania. Looking at polls the other day of Pennsylvanians were like completely turned against this guy. You fucking voted for him, you morons. You voted for him. I have zero, little bit of an ego moment, raging. I have zero sympathy if you got what you voted for. San Francisco, Chicago, New York City. If you voted for that, you deserve it. Enjoy a great Democrat, a wise Democrat from Chicago who became president of the United States, had a famous quote once. He said, elections have consequences. Enjoy your consequences. Now, as a human, I feel for you. I live in God's waiting room, man, Boca Raton. You live at the beach, you visit snow. Our middle son, Jack, is going to be sick of seeing us for the next 4 years. He's going to see you Boulder, and I'm going to be second home Colorado, especially because with legal psilocybin, iboga, ibogaine, and other medicines, look out, Colorado. No Fallen Heroes is coming. I went to No Fallen Heroes Aspen Institute of Healing. I'm kidding. But no, my buddy Kyle Quincy, NHL great. It's called the Do Good Ranch. We'll have more information about that. And then another group, I actually just got this on Instagram, man. Hey, we give free, let me see if I can give them a shout out right now. We do free psilocybin retreats for veterans in Colorado. Psych, SYSK, USA. Sent me a direct message this morning. I didn't get a chance to. We emailed you last week. I said, hey, man, I was out at Psychedelic Science. We are providing psilocybin therapy free to disabled veterans right here in Colorado. This is the way. So, brother, if you're listening, we're going to talk next week because this is awesome. Not too happy down here in Florida with DeSantis. What are you doing, Ron? You're a former Navy vet. You embedded or served with SEALs, I believe, or something like that in Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever it was. What are you doing, dude? Morgan Luttrell, brother, obviously, of my brother, Marcus Luttrell. June 28th, 2 days ago, 18-year anniversary of Operation Red Wing. Don't know what I'm talking about? You need a little civics lesson. Time for you to read. The book's incredible. Read the book, Lone Survivor. Or if you're lazy, at a minimum, watch the movie Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg playing my brother. But Morgan Luttrell, Congressman Morgan Luttrell, also a Navy SEAL. Morgan and Marcus, it looks like their parents hiccuped, and they made two of them. But Morgan, also a Navy SEAL, is now a United States Congressman, did the medicine. Dan Crenshaw, Navy SEAL, wounded, hasn't done the medicine yet, but the Republicans are coming, man. The Republicans are waking up to the healing power of these medicines. Got a couple F-18 brothers in Congress that need to start pushing it up. Period. You can Google them, but so same thing. DeSantis, what are we waiting for? Morgan, Marcus, Whiz, Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee, the two female fighter pilots I took veterans to Costa Rica in February. Our chief medical officer now, Rosie or Aaron. We're all lying? We're all lying. This is all bullshit. We're not healed. These things sucked. And you know, check out that, like I said, the Dales Report podcast. Other veterans organizations like to kiss the ass of the politicians and the VA. That ain't me. I respect people. I will respect, but I don't have to. Could you imagine? I could fix the VA in 24 hours, less than that. How do you do that, Wiz? It's a massive bureaucracy and the care and the blah, blah. How do you fix that? As president of the United States, I would sign an executive order that said, me, the vice president, everybody in our cabinet, and every congressman and senator and their staff now gets their care from the VA. I think Washington, D.C. would physically explode. Can any of you tell me why our elected leaders don't get their care from the VA? Why? Because it fucking sucks. I get it. Some people, I've always had a great experience with the VA. Good for you. I never even got there. Denied. You make too much money and your tinnitus is not service related. Okay, this loud flying jets for 15 years and my back and my eyesight and my hearing loss has nothing to do with flying fighters. It's a absolute shit show. I don't want to exist, folks. My mission objective is the No Fallen Heroes Foundation to be out of business, to go away. It's not a business, it's a nonprofit. There are other nonprofits that are actually businesses, separate conversation. I self-fund. The Buckley family we self-fund our foundation. Would like some help from the public because we're not a charity. Gotta pay my mortgage and shit. But right now we self-fund. So we put money into our foundation, as some folks who shall remain nameless kind of don't. It's pulling money out of the foundation, which is wrong. It's a low vibration. Do better. This is the way, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. Healing is free. It's so funny. Susie, the end of the veterans dinner, the first responder dinner Thursday night, they had a drawing for prizes and stuff. Susie won I forget what was, I'll give him a shout out next week. She won a grow kit, like a $400 grow mushroom grow kit that you can put on your desk. It looks like a greenhouse or something like that. So healing is free. You can grow your own mushrooms, folks. God put these things on our planet to heal. Everything needed to heal the human race exists on this planet. I get dudes and ladies in lab coats can make some drugs that address other issues, but I guarantee you, man, you go to the Amazon, you go bump into a medicine woman, medicine man, they can walk around a forest and point to everything that's going to heal you. That's pretty cool. Lab coats, beakers, big pharma, yeah, they also come from God, obviously, but, big pharma. And I got this question the other day in one of my live trade briefs. We will cover this Thursday at 1 and 8. 2 free briefs this week. Go.topgunoptions.com/healing. Go register right now. Because I got this question, I was buzzing this week in all my live trade briefs at Top Gun Options because just sharing everything I learned, where we're going to invest and all that stuff. But Whiz, Big Pharma is never going to allow this type of comments or questions. They don't have a choice. So Big Pharma, shockingly, speaks with forked tongue. Oh, these things are untested and unproven. While at the same, it's funny. They were either feds or they were Big Pharma dudes and ladies. Probably both. They're one and the same, right, Fauci? But walking around, it's almost like the khaki shorts and flip-flop guys with the aviator glasses that were in the insurrection on January 6th, right? And all these neo-Nazi, look at this neo-Nazi event. They look like half that group is feds, pretending. So it was a rolling joke out there at Psych Science, like, all right, those are either feds or they're pharma, plants. Pharma, forked tongue, bad mouth stuff, but while at the same time, behind closed doors, figuring out how to what? Capitalize on it. But as I've repeatedly said, God is a pretty smart pharmacologist. You can't patent a root and you can't trademark a toad, man. But they're trying to do what? McDonald's and Starbucks it. Hey, you only have 1 hour to heal between yoga and car line? Come and we'll give you our news without the trip. I'm not digging any of it. I'm torn. I love the fact that if you want to heal, let's try and help. But there's something to be said about the sacredness of these medicines and about the experience. I don't like the McDonald's and Starbucks-isation of the medicines. But if it makes the people better and the world a better place, giddy up. So awesome, folks. We had a fantastic week. I'm telling you, you want to go to this. It went from 3,000 people a couple years ago to 12 this year. When, not if, MDMA is legal in the next 12 months. Psych Science 24 in Denver will be, it will be insane. And it was so much fun. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to have our Top Gun Options folks out there as our squadron. We'll do some events. This is the way, folks. Hand to God, in the next 6 to 12 months, MDMA legal for therapeutic use is the dam will break. I told you this week, 3 days in a row, the Wall Street Journal has articles about it. It's here. It's not coming, it's here. But it needs to really be here. The mission objective of the No Fallen Heroes Foundation is to heal our heroes at home. And I'm going to succeed or I'm going to die trying. I will see you this coming Thursday at 1 or 8 p.m. when you go to go.topgunoptions.com/healing. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief on not only saving and changing lives, but underneath that, potentially profiting. That is a win-win-win, a self-licking ice cream cone. Have a great rest of your day. Have a safe and happy 4th. Come home with 10 fingers and 10 toes. God bless you. Fights on. Namaste and Basi Basi. Whiz out.